Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Boost Small Bites series. I've just seen a few people join as we get started here, so I'm admitting those folks and letting them get connected to audio, and we'll get started in just another minute. So my name is Julia Despain, and I will share my screen real quick and just talk a little bit about the Boost series overall. So today's training session is creating videos for social media marketing. And I just wanted to point out a few future training sessions that we have, one in November and one in December. And you're welcome to register for those upcoming sessions that will be happening in the next month or two. As we get started here, sorry, trying to admit and share my screen at the same time. I'd like to introduce Anna. This is Anna Hampkins. I'm probably butchering your last name.
You're
so
all right.
And she's leading our Boost series training session today, so I'll go ahead and throw it to her.
Awesome. Well, hi, everyone. My name is Anna Hankins, and I run a farm north of Cedar Rapids in the Coggin area called Over the Moon Farm and Flowers. And I also really enjoy social media marketing and really enjoy peer-to-peer education. So it was really exciting to host some of these Boost webinars to be able to kind of chat with folks and share more about how we make the most effective use of our social media platforms. So today we're going to talk about videos, which is really become such a big deal. I think even just over the last year in terms of people's ability to connect and grow on social media. So I'm going to share my screen too. And while I do that, it would be awesome if folks were willing to type in the chat bar on a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable you are with making videos for social media or other content, 10 being that you do it every single day and you are a video pro, and 1 being that you've never done it and you're looking to start from scratch. I will share my screen. Okay, awesome. Can everyone see my screen now? Okay. Cool. And let me just figure out how I can also see the chat. So it seems like we have a range, some 6s. I feel like in my own experience, I would identify as being somewhere around an 8. I like video, but it's kind of an everyday learning and sometimes pushing yourself to feel brave and able to do it. So that's kind of where I feel I fall. So I just wanted to start by talking about why video is important for social media marketing. I think that one thing that feels really important is that there's been this just massive rise of video sharing apps that have happened. If you are not familiar with TikTok, it is a really big and very popular video sharing app that has become the big thing, I think, especially for folks perhaps younger than myself or teens, but also lots of businesses and lots of people of every generation around the world have really started using that app a lot. If you've never used it, it would honestly maybe be helpful if you don't want to create an account, but to scroll through and understand kind of the power and viralness of the video sharing. You might think, if you do know about it, you might think that it's only a place where people do funny dances and stuff, but it could be helpful to look at like how businesses are using it, because it certainly has a big range of people and ways of sharing. And so because of this giant rise of the video sharing apps, every other social media platform has then started to really push out video sharing. So Instagram Reels is one example of Instagram/Facebook, since they're owned in one company, has really tried to hop on the trend of video sharing, and creating Instagram Reels has become one large way to grow on Instagram and Facebook, because now Reels are also posted on Facebook. So I would say that these apps are really trying to move themselves towards being video sharing apps and not just being still photo apps. And, you know, one could talk about if that's good or bad or whatnot, but I think that's the reality of where things are at in our social media universe. But as farmers and business people, I think there's also something to be said about creating videos to connect with customers. You don't need to go viral, and you don't need to do all the newest trends or be posting 6,000 videos a day, but there's a lot to be said about a video being a more personal way to connect with your customer base, and can be used in everything, from your social media also to your email newsletters or even on your website. So there's lots of different uses. I think that people and have experienced and heard other social media professionals talk about how people really feel like they can get to know you when they see you on a video in a way that a still photo might not allow you to connect. People get to hear your voice. They get to feel like they're part of your day-to-day, and that can be a really powerful tool. So I just wanted to talk a little bit more about the different types of video that exist in our social media world. So as I mentioned, we have Instagram Reels. This is like the TikTok equivalent to Instagram. It's a short form video. You can be 1 minute long. And I would say that genre-wise, they kind of fall into the category of being things that are trending. They're a little goofier, they're shorter form, but they really can be anything. And if you've never watched a reel before, I would advise kind of just scrolling through them. You can find them by the middle button on your navigation bar in your Instagram takes you to Reels. So the best way to learn about them is to watch them, give yourself permission to scroll, I think. And when you do that, you can also save them to come back to them, and you can save the sounds for ones that maybe you'd be interested in making at some point. So the other type of videos that exist is using Instagram stories. This is a really great way to connect with a smaller base of your followers. Typically, not every single person that follows you views all your stories. I'm sure this has something to do with how it gets pushed out in the algorithm. I don't totally know, but it's a good way to kind of connect with a smaller group of your followers and give a little bit more of a behind the scenes. If you are someone that falls into that, let's see, Jackie, with that 3 category in terms of videos, I would say that Instagram stories is an awesome place to start. And these Instagram stories also go out on Facebook if you give it that permission. So it's a good way to reach both of those audiences. And they go away in 24 hours. So it's also maybe a lower pressure way to just start. I've seen some really awesome advice that I myself have tried to follow, of being brave and posting a video on Instagram stories showing your face once a week, talking to the camera and saying, hey, everyone on Instagram, I'm just hopping on to share a little bit about what's happening on our farm. I'm going to walk you around and show you this really awesome lettuce that I'm cutting today. So Instagram stories is an awesome place to start. The other tool on Instagram specifically is that you can post longer form videos, and those go directly to your feed. So that can be longer than a minute. I believe that Instagram used to call this IGTV, but recently has changed it. So again, because of the power of video, has changed it. So your feed has one place that it shows still photos and one place where it shows all videos, which includes reels and what used to be these Instagram IGTV, so longer form posts. I believe you can do, I think they can be much longer than a reel. So I think you can have up to 5 minutes of actual video on those types of posts. So if you wanted to do like a cooking demonstration or something where you wanted to do a tour of your farm or a tour behind the scenes of your business, that would be an awesome place to do that. Also on Instagram, they have the option to go live. So this, to me, maybe people have different opinions. I feel like this is like video for people that feel really comfortable and ready to go. So maybe someone who's closer to an 8 or a 10 on that spectrum. So that would be when you click live, and it would be kind of like our Zoom call, and people can join and listen to you talk, or you could do a demonstration or something like that. But and people can ask you questions and join in the chat. So and you can do that same feature on Facebook. So it's called a Facebook Live. I've seen people use this tool when they want to do like a giveaway and they want to announce a winner, or they want to announce the winner to a contest or something of that nature. So, and the last thing, I've obviously talked about TikTok a lot. Like I said, I think that it gets the reputation of being the app that just the young Gen Z or whatnot uses. But I will say that I have seen just a lot of all types of businesses using TikTok. And again, I don't think this is something that everyone needs to do or do right away, but I do think it's good to understand what kind of audiences are out there. And that I think that at this time in the world, our customers probably exist on all of the above type of apps. Before I move on, does anyone have any questions just about the types of videos that exist, or clarifying anything that I've said so far? If you want to type that in the chat, that would be totally fine. Okay, awesome question. Do Instagram Reels save or do they delete? Like stories. So an Instagram Reel share, it saves. It goes on your feed, unlike a story. So it will save forever, and it will continue to get pushed out to various audiences. It does not get just pushed out to your followers. So that's something else that's different between a reel and a story, which means that reels can have a much larger reach than your story. And it's a really good tool for building new followers or expanding your audience. Advice about how often you should post a video. I would say that this is up to your comfort level. I don't think there's a rule of thumb of needing to do it every single day or even every single week. I think that videos are something that more and more people are incorporating. And so I think that it would be really awesome to give yourself a goal of something, of giving it a try. So if you're at a 1 or a 3 and you're not comfortable with video, I think it would be so awesome to set a goal of doing more videos in your stories once a week until you feel like comfortable and ready to go. And then maybe working on figuring out how to create a reel or figuring out how to do a longer form video post. But I don't think there's like a one fits all rule. Awesome. So if anyone has any questions that come up, you're totally welcome to just type them in the chat and we can stop and go through them. So in terms of how do you actually create a video, the good thing about these apps is everything can be done just on Instagram. If you want to do something or Facebook. If you want to do something really basic and you don't want to do any editing to it, or cutting it or whatnot, you just want to have it, that's totally fine. I mostly do that. But if you have a Mac or an iPhone, iMovie is a very easy option for cutting down the length or doing very basic editing. So that's something I recommend. The other thing that I have found is that there are lots and lots of apps in the App Store on an Android or an iPhone or whatever you have, that you can download and that will let you easily edit a video that's meant for social media. So sometimes I like to use like a time lapse. So I've just downloaded the highest rated free time lapse app on my phone that I can use. But there's also just many, just by Googling apps for creating reels or for Instagram videos. There's so many out there of just very basic. So but I try to do it just as much as I can just on the app so that I don't know how to do very much editing, and I'm not sure that they need much. So you can do most of it just right there. So I would say I've talked about a lot of these tips, but I wanted to kind of reiterate that you don't need to go viral to make effective videos. It's about, being famous to your audience, to your customers, to your small niche. You definitely don't need it to be the whole world. I think it can be really intimidating to look at whether it's Instagram Reels or the Facebook or TikToks, and you see just so many likes because they get pushed out to so many people, so many likes or views or whatnot. And I think it feels intimidating. I know it has for me to feel like you have to create the very best content or something that will reach a really wide audience. And I think it's important to remember that you don't. I think another awesome tip is to watch other content creators in your niche. So when you start watching Reels or TikToks, but thinking about Instagram, when you start watching Reels, it will show you other ones that are in your same niche. So if I say, like, I Google the hashtag farm reel, it will show me farm reels, whether it's people with their cattle or their chickens or doing some funny dance in the field. It will push that type of content towards me and I can watch. And I think it's really helpful to see what other people in your niche are creating, that you can either do something similar or feel inspired. And then my other advice is that, sorry about my dog, that you don't have to go from 0 to 100, and that it's really okay to start small. And that video is tough. It can feel much, I think, more intimidating. And so you don't need to go from never sharing a video to making 10 viral reels a day and being on all the different apps and sharing stories every day where you're talking to the camera. You don't need to do that. You can still use effective video at a smaller scale. So does anyone have any questions about any of that, or have a topic that you'd like me to dive a little bit deeper into? Does anyone currently create reels or do any of these types of videos already? So what does testing out reels looked like for you so far? That's awesome. Yeah, so I would say that if anyone is wanting to see just a small reel, like Julia said, the RC&D just recently posted their first one. So, and I would say also, I'll put my Instagram handle in. I try to post, I don't have like a rule of thumb, but I do try to alternate between posts that are still photos and posts that are video or reels. So my kind of key takeaways that I wanted people to think about through this presentation is that are videos absolutely essential to having a strong social media presence? No, but are they going to really help you connect with and grow your audience? Yes. So I would say videos are absolutely something that's worth trying to be brave with and start with. Is there any other questions, I think, before we kind of wrap up? I think if there's not, I'll pass it back to Julia.
Thank you so much for your time, Anna. And I just want to recommend one more time, if anyone needs a really good follow, I really recommend following Anna Over the Moon Farm and Flowers on her Instagram account. She has a really great mix of informative but really funny posts, and it's really great follow if you want to see how somebody uses video really effectively. And as I switch screens here, I just wanted to launch our poll real quick. So if you can take a few seconds to answer those questions about what you learned here today. I'll also share my screen. And I just wanted to remind folks that we do have 2 upcoming training sessions, one in November and one in December. They'll both be hosted by Anna. So if you enjoyed our session today, please join us again in November and December. You can register for those sessions on the Iowa Valley RC&D website. And also, I believe on Facebook as well. And then I think I have to end my poll before I switch screens here. It's not letting me switch screens, but I also just wanted to remind folks that they can also contact the Zoom coaches as well if they have any questions, and you can find those on our website as well. But thank you for taking time to join us today. And again, thank you again to Anna for a really great presentation. Have a good rest of your day, everybody.